A wave of public anger is sweeping across the nation as ordinary citizens, pushed to the brink by soaring food and fuel prices, are reportedly planning a nationwide shutdown in protest against economic hardship. What began as isolated grumbles in local markets and petrol stations has rapidly evolved into a coordinated movement, with social media groups and grassroots organizations calling for collective action to pressure the government into urgent intervention. For weeks, communities have felt the squeeze of escalating prices. The cost of basic staples such as maize, rice, bread, and cooking oil has surged, leaving families scrambling to stretch limited incomes. Fuel prices, meanwhile, have reached unprecedented highs, directly impacting transportation costs and further inflating the price of goods. The result is a spiraling cycle of hardship, with citizens now openly questioning the government's ability or willingness to stabilize the economy. Reports from urban centers reveal long queues at gas stations, with some stations rationing fuel due to unprecedented demand. In rural areas, farmers and vendors lament the increasing difficulty of accessing markets, as transport costs eat into their already thin profits. Social media has become a hub for documenting the crisis, videos of angry commuters stuck in traffic due to fuel shortages, mothers lamenting empty pantries, and small business owners detailing the impossibility of sustaining operations under the current economic conditions are being widely circulated, fueling a growing sense of urgency and outrage. Organizers of the planned shutdown argue that it is not merely a protest but a desperate plea for survival. People are not striking for political gain, we are fighting to keep our families fed and our communities afloat, one activist stated, speaking anonymously for fear of reprisal. This is about survival. Every day that prices rise, the gap between the government and the people grows wider. In online forums, hashtags calling for a nationwide halt have gained traction, reflecting a collective frustration that transcends regional and social divides. Authorities, meanwhile, appear caught off guard. While government officials have acknowledged rising prices, there is growing skepticism over the adequacy of proposed measures. Statements promising long-term economic reforms are being dismissed by citizens who face immediate hardship, with many insisting that only urgent actions such as temporary price controls or subsidies can alleviate the crisis. Analysts warn that a failure to respond decisively could spark social unrest beyond the planned shutdown, potentially destabilizing communities already grappling with poverty and unemployment. Economic experts point to multiple factors behind the surge in prices. Global fuel market volatility, disruptions in food supply chains, inflation, and domestic policy shortcomings are all cited as contributing factors. Yet for citizens on the ground, these explanations offer little comfort. Each day brings mounting bills, empty shelves, and the gnawing anxiety of an uncertain future. Ordinary families, once resigned to enduring economic cycles, are now voicing unprecedented collective dissent. The planned shutdown is expected to disrupt daily life significantly, with schools, businesses, and public transport likely to be affected. Organizers stress the peaceful nature of the action, urging participants to remain calm while making their grievances heard. However, law enforcement agencies have indicated a readiness to maintain public order, raising the possibility of confrontations. The tension between a desperate populace and cautious authorities underscores the high stakes of this unfolding crisis. As the nation braces for what could become one of the largest citizen-led protests in recent memory, the message from the streets is clear: ordinary people are demanding accountability, action, and immediate relief from the economic pressures threatening their livelihoods. The coming days will reveal whether the government can respond swiftly enough to quell public fury or if the streets will become the epicenter of a broader, more sustained movement demanding economic justice. The growing mobilization demonstrates a remarkable unity among citizens from all walks of life, driven not by ideology but by shared hardship. The question now is whether this collective anger will force meaningful change or simply expose the widening chasm between a government struggling to manage an economic crisis and a population that refuses to endure it any longer.